All right, well, I got a room full here at Velma Jackson. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I've got a room full here at Velma Jackson.
Okay.
Our friends at Ridgeland High School and Germantown High School. And this, like I said, this is our personal finance class, and we just got through looking at your website, and they have some, and you do all the same stuff we're about to be talking about as far as savings and banking and financial literacy and emergency funds and all that good stuff. And didn't think of a better person to talk about it. And they've got some great questions as well, so you can.
Oh, great. Okay.
Take it away. The floor is yours.
All right. And how many do we have in the room?
We've got 14 in here. I'm sorry, we got 11 in here.
11. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Cynthia Walker.
They all said hey.
Okay, I can hear some of them. Hold on. All right, so I share my desktop. Let me know when you see it.
Oh, it's a good one. Ooh, great question.
Oh, they had our questions ready?
Yeah, they're turning in their questions. I got 2 really good ones up here.
Okay, great. All right, can you see my screen?
I cannot. I see you, but I do not see your screen.
You can't see my screen. Okay. Share screen. That's the thing with technology, I'll tell you one second. All right. One more time.
I see it.
You got it? Okay.
I do.
All righty. Let's get the ball rolling. All right. Sorry about that, you guys.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, so Mr. It's Pigott, right? Pigott. Pigott.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Pigott reached out to me and was like, hey, he wanted me to talk to you all about financial literacy. So my name is Cynthia Walker, and my background is mostly finance. I started with banking in high school, believe it or not. I was going to my senior year of high school, and I was my first job was working at a grocery store. And things kind of didn't work out with myself and one of the front end managers. And I was like, okay, I'm going to quit. I do not recommend you quitting jobs. Do not do that. That was my first and last time doing it. But after that, I was like, I want to start doing something, more meaningful, something that I could possibly go into for a career. So I got to talking to my sister, and she was like, what are you interested in? I was like, well, I like numbers. She was like, okay, what else? It's like, well, I like math. So we got to brainstorming, and it's like, well, how about banking? I didn't know a lot about accounting at the time, but I knew much about banking because it's like something common that we all know about bank. So what I did was I dressed up. Remember, I'm still a student in high school. I dressed up, went to my pastor, a local senator, and one of my teachers and asked them for a letter of recommendation. So I took those 3 letters of recommendation along in my suit and my transcript and resume to the bank. And I asked to speak to the president of the bank. So at this time, I'm walking in, they probably was like, who is this? Does she have money? Just a high school student trying to, get money to pay for senior portraits. So, but I went in with confidence, and I was just explaining to the president, like, hey, I'm a high school student. I'm interested in learning about banking. Have you ever hired students? And he stated that, no, we've never hired students before, and we've never hired anyone under the age of 18. So I was 17 at the time. It was like September 2007. I was 17. I was going to be 18 the next month. And so this was like a Friday we were talking. And so Monday morning, he had called me back and he was like, hey, I got to talk to corporate, and since you're about to be, 18 soon, we want you to go ahead and start the application because we are interested. You came in with confidence and we knew just someone we need to take a chance on. So I say all that to say, even if something that you don't think you're qualified for, go for it. And if it's for you, you will get it. So I started as a student teller at the bank. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do as far as career-wise. So I got into banking until I started going to Mississippi State. And I was like, okay, well, probably not banking, stay around with the numbers and the math. And that's when I started thinking about accounting and finance. And accounting and finance kind of intertwined, but they are different. So finance focuses on forecast the future. What can we look forward to when we make our goals and all that? How can we reach them? Accounting focuses on now. What have we done? Historical numbers, historical factors, and all of that. And that's the difference between accounting and finance. Well, my love for finance outweighed my love for accounting. And so I decided to, stick with finance. And so I did a bachelor's and a master's degree in finance. And after I graduated my bachelor's, I went back to the bank because I couldn't find anything I really wanted to do. So I went to Regis Bank and stayed for like a year and a half until I found something in finance, what I actually got my degree in. And so after that, after being in Regis a year and a half, I sought an opportunity with Mississippi Department of Revenue. And that was in tax revenue. So with tax revenue, what I did was, the 18-wheelers you all see on the roads, you just see there's some big trucks. Well, it's a lot behind the scenes. They have to pay taxes on their mileage, the petroleum, everything they use on the road. They have to be within regulations. When you see the Mississippi Department of Transportation that looks like police vehicles pull them over, it's for a reason. Their numbers not in order. They don't have the permits. What they're carrying probably isn't approved at that moment. So it's a lot that goes behind the scenes with that. And I learned a lot with that. And so after that, I sought another opportunity with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I didn't know anything about the Army Corps of Engineers. I just was like searching one day, looking at USA jobs, because I know I wanted to stay within the government, but I wanted to leave state government and go into federal government because I wanted to get the experience from the state, because it's kind of difficult to get in federal government if you don't know someone. I'll say that it's kind of hard. When you get into a federal government agency, you notice it's very family oriented. Everyone knows each other because either you have a sister, a mom, a dad, you know someone. So I got the opportunity to start working with the Army Corps of Engineers as a graduate student because I had just started my MBA program. And I started as a Pathways in October 2017. Well, that was some great training, learning everything. And I was in the Pathways program, you don't convert to permanent or either get a chance to convert to permanent until you finish your degree. So a semester before I was going to get my MBA, I was offered a permanent position as an accountant. And I was like, okay, degree in finance, accounting is still promising, they go hand in hand. So I took the accounting position. Well, that was December 2018 as a permanent accountant, and I'm still an accountant. And from 2017 to now, I've seen my salary increase $40,000.
Wow.
Because I've, just move up. So within the federal government accounting, I started as a GS7, and that was the Pathways program. When I was converted as a GS9. So the accounting series skipped two levels. So you have 7, 9, 11. Well, you can go up 7, 9, 11 after every 52 weeks without competing with anyone. So in order for me to get a 12, which I recently got in June, I had to compete for it, meaning I had to apply for the position, interview, and get offered the job. Well, let me see, and with federal government, when you're in a position, you can't move to the next grade level until 52 weeks. So they try to keep the favoritism and all that down and make sure that people who are actually, deserving and performing well get these positions. So yeah, so from 2017 to now, I've increased 40 and I love it at the Army Corps of Engineers. They have many opportunities for people as yourselves, for you students. If you want to start as a student, if you want to wait until after college. But I will say this, internships during college and summer are so important.
Absolutely.
They are so important. They help you stand out when you're applying to these jobs. And the Army Corps of Engineers aren't just for, engineer majors. We have scientific major, biology, geology, accountant, finance majors, anything in the business area, or other than accounting, you need 24 hours in business. So you don't have to have an accounting degree or finance degree to get in the business series. But if you want to be an accountant, you need a degree and 24 accounting hours or an accounting degree.
Okay.
So with me, I had the finance degrees, but also had the 24 hours in accounting. Had I not had the 24 hours in accounting, I couldn't be in an accounting series. So yeah, so I, with the Army Corps of Engineers, been an accountant. I'm still an accountant, but I'm also the asset manager. So I manage the assets for the Vicksburg district. And our assets range from $500 million. So we stay busy, making sure that, hey, what they're buying, or has Congress approved them to buy this? Does this meet the time, purpose, and amount? Do they have enough to buy it? Should they be buying it? And so they just come and ask questions when they figure out they want to buy something, and just make sure that, basically doing it right within the regulations, within the appropriated money for it, and if they are allowed to do it. So yeah, it's an interesting job and I love it here. And I would love to see some of you do your internships with the Corps, and that's based in Vicksburg, where I am now. In Vicksburg, Mississippi. But the Corps is all over. They're in Europe, different places you'll never, think about. But it's a great place to work, I tell you. And also, my love for financial literacy inspired me to start a business. And I know Mr. Pygott said you all saw the website. It's called FinLit. It's short for financial literacy. So I started that, and because I was like, if I don't know this, I know people in my community don't know it. So I was like, wealth of knowledge, you should always share and spread it. I'm a firm believer, if I know something and I know that it'll help someone else, I'm going to share it. So things I learned in school, things I learned from experiences, and just, things I've learned from, many family members and friends, I'm always open to saying, hey, you should do it this way. It's proven to work, or don't do that. Because my friends and family is like, sometimes they don't want to be around me. I was like, why are you spending that much money? Like, why are you buying it? Things like that. And prime example, this pandemic, people, like some people, they were able to get through it because they were saving. They were saving before all this happened. But then you have some people didn't know what to do because they were living for the day and not for, the future or whatever. So just things like that. And I believe in, teaching about how to save your money, things you can do with your money, different hacks and all that. And you guys is it 7th and 8th graders?
No, this is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Oh, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, great. So you definitely need this, because when it comes to deciding what you want to do at the high school, there's going to be a 2-4-year college, go straight to work. It's going to become time though decision making. With financial literacy is going to be very important, because when you decide if I want to go to college, now you need to decide how's it going to be paid for. Am I going to apply for scholarships? My parents going to be able to help? Can I become like a student worker on campus? There's a lot that goes into that with financial literacy and all that. And I know I don't, push college on everyone. Sometimes 4 year, 2 year is not for everyone. Some people want to go straight to work. And I've seen some successful people who go straight to work, then go back to school. So whichever one works for you, do it for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing it for someone else, you're either not completed, not like it, or just have no motivation to, get through it. So whatever you want to do, you make the decision for yourself.
Absolutely.
So do you want me to answer questions now or?
No, go ahead with the presentation, because I'm still
Okay,
waiting for some more.
Okay, great. So let me go to the next slide. That was the baseline, who I am and what I do and how I got there. So let me go to the next thing. Okay, so that was my path to finance. And like I said, the importance of financial literacy. So the smallest of things that we deal with every day is you're going to come into some financial literacy. So in high school, 19th, 11th, do you all get allowances? I'm not sure. Some of you get allowances.
Oh, we have some here that work as well.
Okay, some get allowances, some are working. So some of you may be like, okay, I'm just a kid, I'm gonna go blow my money. Some of you could be like, I have no responsibilities right now. I'm just gonna start saving for a rainy day. So if you have the opportunity to work and just save your money, I advise you to do it. Now, I'm not saying just work and save all. Set a percentage aside. If you get, when I was in high school, I worked at the grocery store, I was getting paid weekly. So maybe they're getting paid maybe bi-weekly, I'm not sure. But you get paid, say, $250, $300 every 2 weeks. You tell yourself, I'm gonna put 20% aside or 10%. You set a percentage, not too high, not too low. So you won't be tempted to go into it every time. So you set something that's gonna have you like, okay, I don't need to touch that, or I'm not gonna touch that. I'm just gonna let that grow. And I know some kids, because I went to school with some, they worked, but they also had to help their parents with bills and stuff. And if that's your situation, I do not fault you for that. But I do say, if you can save some money now at this age, please do it. Because adulting, I do not advise against adulting. I really do. But no, so that's great that you all are working. I will say, if you know what you want to do, like far as career-wise, try to work in that area. If you don't know what you want to do, just play around with different things. Look up things like internships, volunteer opportunities. If you say, I want to be a doctor, if you have a primary doctor, or a doctor in the area, like, hey, do you have any opportunities where I can maybe shadow you, something like that. A lot with doctors you can't do because it's, against the law. But yeah, shadowing someone would be great. If you want to be go in mechanics, be a plumber, there's nothing wrong with those, because we need them every day. They make our life easier. If that's something you want to do, start networking with those type of people. And networking is very important. And the earlier you start, the more your network will grow, and you'll have someone to, depend on, help you through situations. Because my people in my network, we start out with hello, hey, how you doing? Some of them have gone on to be my mentors. So and speaking of mentors, it's very important to have a mentor at every aspect of your life. You want a mentor to help you make reasonable decisions, you get one. A mentor for relationships, have someone who can guide you. I don't care what age you are, you still need someone who can guide you through this thing called life, because it can get crazy. It really can. And then, and far as, so I spoke on you all working, allowances, things like that. Also, it's I go back to scholarships. So my sister was working at the public library, and I was kind of forced to go in the library. I don't know if they still make this book or not. It was a book full of scholarships, and they had a scholarship for everything.
Left online now.
Say one time.
It's all online now.
Oh yeah, everything online. Yeah, yeah. Well, it was online then too, but in the library they just had this big book. But I do recommend going online. Yeah, stay online because this book is heavy. But they had a scholarship for everything: left-handed, twitching eye, just different stuff. You know, you can find a scholarship for anything, and I do recommend. Minority, anything that you see yourself fit, apply. Don't worry about how many people across the world are going to apply to it. You apply to it because scholarship is going to be very important if you decide I want to go to college after this. Because most scholarships I know now are for 2-year, 4-year colleges. And if you decide you want to do that now's the time to decide how it's going to be paid for. Because college, the cost of college is insane. It has grown exponentially. And if you can find something to help you to either not get any student loans or get the bare minimum student loans, I recommend it. And speaking of student loans, when I'm talking about working for the federal government, they're also, when you work in a public service and you have student loans, after 10 years of working in the public service, such as a public attorney, like I said, you work for a public agency like the Corps of Engineers, Social Security, you become a teacher after 10 years and you've made on-time payments, 10 years, which is 120 payments, all of your loans can be forgiven. So that is something to think about. You want to go in public service and you want to go to school, then you know you have that opportunity to pay your loans off in 10 years because those loans are accruing interest. And some people only are paying interest and have not even reached the meat of the loan. So in order to have that opportunity, it's very great. I think everyone in the world should have the opportunity at 10 years, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so public service is something you want to go in and college is something you want to do. I would definitely kill 2 birds with 1 stone, work both of those together, get your education and get them paid off. But if you don't have to take student loans and you can find scholarships, you can find local scholarships, national scholarships, things such as Rotary Club. When I was in school, I applied to everything. We had Rotary, Lions, anything local, your local businesses, State Farm, reach out to all of them. Some of them have scholarships that people know nothing about. Yeah. So definitely research those scholarships, and not even national businesses. You have some mom and pops maybe in the area that were looking to give back to the community. They may sponsor you or something like that. So definitely look into things like that. And that's one key importance of financial literacy.
Absolutely.
So now I'll go to the importance of saving. So like I mentioned about the pandemic, some people just were kind of like lost and took a while to recover, and some are still recovering because they didn't have that safety net. So when it comes to saving, one size doesn't fit all. I'm not going to say you need to save $100. Depending on what you bring in, you need to save a percentage that fits your lifestyle. Choose a percentage that fits your lifestyle to save your money, because this person makes $500 every 2 weeks and you making $250 every 2 weeks. I can't tell you, save half of yours, because their half is exactly what you're making. So choose what fits your lifestyle when it comes to saving. You never want to get to a point where you have nothing saved, because this life we live, something always gonna come up. A flat tire, it's with the credit card, banking fraud. People can get into your account at any time. You just need to have that safety net for something like that. It's great when we never have to use it, but you want to have that option always. Things come up, and saving isn't all about needs. Saving is all about wants. You have new shoes coming out, concerts, things you want to do, because I believe in you work hard, you should enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, Beyonce, she doesn't give us a heads up all the times when she having a concert or dropping an album, and you want to be involved in it. So if you have this money saved, then you can be one of those fans who can participate in her selling her outfits or being a concert or dropping an album. So it's just great to have that money saved for your needs and wants. And I'll just start right there. So the three things we discussed was my path to finance and why I chose it, the importance of financial literacy, and the importance of saving. And I'll open the floor for you all to ask your questions.
And I got some good ones, but before I get to theirs, you talked about you went to high school and college. Where actually did you go to high school and college?
Oh, okay. So high school was Greenwood High School. Are you familiar with Greenwood, Mississippi?
I was born in Greenville.
Okay, neighbor. Yeah, Greenwood High School. That's where I went. College from Mississippi State University. Yay, Bulldogs. And the MBA with Mississippi College.
Okay. Yeah, and I think when you had told me that, I wanted them to know, just from a frame of reference, that you are a Mississippi product.
Yes, I'm so sorry. How could I forget that? I love Mississippi.
Oh, absolutely. But this first question, and this is a tough one to start out with. This is from Deborah Pierce, and she's a senior.
Okay.
Asked, what is the toughest accounting challenge you've solved, and what separates a good accountant from a great accountant?
Toughest accounting challenge. Well, last year, you said Deborah?
Yes.
Okay, great question, Deborah. Last year, dealing with accounting, I know accounting systems very important. So I'm an observer, and when something looks out of whack to me, I want to say, okay, how can we fix this? So I was in our accounting system with the core engineers, and I noticed some numbers were off. I was working with the increment factors, and I was like, this doesn't look right, because our increment factors align with inflation. If you all are familiar with inflation, our increment factors align with that, basically saying $200,000 item you bought today will not be worth, it's going to be more to repair or replace, say 5 years down the road. So kind of find out this affected not just Vicksburg, but the whole region. So we had to go in, have meetings, and like, how can we fix this? Because these people have, with the increment, they pay monthly. So they've basically paid in too much money over 5 years, because the error had been on 5 years. They paid over too much money over 5 years to replace or repair this item in the event something happens to it. Now we have to work to get that 5 years of money back to all of these departments that in these purchases. It's like, oh my God, how we can do this, and how can we do this without, causing the uproar. So that was very challenging. We did it without them noticing it. At the end they noticed it, but we tried to time it around the end of the fiscal year, because Congress giving us more money start October 1st. So they assume, oh, we were distributing more money, and we just left it at that. But yeah, so we had to find ways to get their money back to them, because all in all, they were charged too much money. So that was a difficult accounting challenge, but what made it easier was the accounting system that we use. That made it easier. The second part of this question is, what separates a good accountant from a bad one?
Oh, a good accountant from a great one.
Oh, good from great. Okay. Well, I like to think I'm a great one, so I should be able to answer that question. A great accountant is very organized. That's the key, organization. Because when it comes to accounting, like I said, your numbers can get out of whack in the moment. You need a great filing system. A great accountant is great in Excel. Know them spreadsheets, know those formulas, know how to make them, know how to do a pivot chart table. If they're familiar with that, know all of that. So a great accountant needs to be familiar with the whole Microsoft Office. Express Excel, but the whole Microsoft Office. Be very organized. Be an observer. Be very observant when it comes to numbers, or even analyzing numbers. When you read when you come into a paragraph or something explaining these numbers, be very analytical of it. Don't take no one's word for what they're saying. The numbers going to tell you a story. And if you're not getting the story that you're supposed to be getting from those numbers, ask questions, question everything, trust, but verify. And that was going to make a great accountant.
Awesome. This is Akil Middleton, and he's a junior. And he
Okay.
asked, what's the hardest part about managing your own website?
Great question. So I do, the person that created, I still let them do the maintenance on it. So I do pay like $30 a month for like general maintenance and hosting. But the hardest part of managing may be content, but I think I'm, getting that a grasp on it. I had to learn to schedule my content. So I couldn't just, now it's October and now I know what I want to put on the website for October. No, I had to plan it out months before. Like October, I want to do this. National Financial Literacy Month. This is what I want to do. But 2 or 3 months planned out ahead is when all your content and everything should be already established, and you go put it on the website. So I say content was one of the most challenging things. Other than that, the website it's user friendly. I can go in and type things and all that, but I don't have much problems from it. But as long as you get that content down, you're good.
I got you. This is Brandon Lemon, and he's a senior.
Okay.
And you talked a little bit about this, but he asked, what are the main things to consider when you are creating a personal budget?
The main things considered when doing a personal budget. Okay. And this is Brandon?
Yes.
Brandon. Okay, great question, Brandon. So when you're creating a personal budget, the first thing you're going to start with, your income, all sources of income. How do you bring in money? How do you bring in money? File that under income. Your expenses. What is my money going towards? What am I spending my money on? That's going to go on they're going to go on your expenses. So you start with income, expenses, and include your savings in there. How much do I have left to save? And what's left over should be your disposable income. Use it on entertainment, things like that. Personal budget starts with income, expenses, and savings. And anything left over disposable income, use on your entertainment and things such as this. Your expenses always need to include all your necessities. So you have a car, all the car notes, gas that go in the car, always include those in your expenses. Anything that you consistently pay for need to be in your expenses. Don't leave anything out. And what's left over is free to go, free to use.
This is Cheyenne Harvey, and she's a sophomore. And she says, do financial things stress you out or frustrate you?
Do what stress me out?
Do financial things stress you out or frustrate you?
Yes, that they do. And I think it's mostly because I have a finance background. I'll say this. So I've been paying for a wedding. I do not recommend. Go to the Justice of Peace. Do that. So the thing with me, I think like if I'm spending more than $500 in a day, I get very stressed out. But I also try to realize it's a blessing that you have it. It's not like you're spending on something crazy. You're spending on something that, you budgeted for, you plan for it. So to a point, they do stress me out when I'm spending over more than $500 a day. I don't care if it's a need or a want. I stress out. I'm trying to work on it, but I'm not there yet. But I will say, when you've planned and budgeted for things, don't stress out. If you plan for it, you didn't know it's gonna come up, but you had a safety net. Try to limit your level of stress. Don't stress yourself out, because we know stress leads to sickness. So it's something that you are able to pay for, something you're able to do. Don't stress yourself out. But I am not the one to say that I don't get stressed, because I do.
Gotcha. This is Miles Woodward. He's a junior, and he asked, what is the best financial advice you would give someone who just graduated from college?
Best financial advice for someone who graduated from college. Create a budget. Create a budget and set boundaries. So you just graduate from college. You either applying to jobs, just got a job, or you're working like odd jobs, something like that. So your situation, if you just graduated, you're gonna go stay with your parents and stack your money. If you're in that situation, actually stack your money. I know some people who have the opportunity and they still don't save. They just go blow it. Actually, if you are given the opportunity, your parents say, hey, I know you just graduated. We're gonna let you work, save your money, save the most of your money. Do it. Because as you get older, it's great to have the opportunity, but you're gonna want to be on your own. So when you get that opportunity, save, then you can go start your adult life. So I say the best advice is save money if you can, set boundaries, because you're gonna have people asking for money here and there. And my advice is don't even start letting people borrow money. Just don't do it. It messes up relationships, it messes up friendship. Just don't do it. So save your money, budget, and set boundaries. That's the best advice I can give to a recent graduating college student.
Here's another advice question. This is from Anastasia Brown. She's a junior. And she asked, if someone wanted to follow in the same career path as you and or interested in learning to finance their money, what would be the best advice you would give them?
Following the same career path and interested in
learning to interested in learning to budget their money.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the first part, like if you're interested in working with the Army Corps engineers, or I start with this, you're interested in finance, major in finance. If you're interested in accounting, you can major in finance or anything else, but get those 24 hours in accounting.
And finance people are always the last people laid off.
That last, because they need us. Even when it comes to, and I'm deferring away from the question, but even if it comes to work for the government, we have shutdowns. We have never been sent home.
It's true.
So that's something to consider too. So if you want to work for the federal government, get with an agency.
Skill.
Yeah, go get with an agency that doesn't get sent home during the shutdown. But back to the question. So like I said, if you want to be in accounting with the Army Corps engineers, or finance, have a finance degree in 24 hours in accounting, or just an accounting degree. The thing with the accounting federal government, like I said, you skip 2 levels each year. So you can go from a 7, 9, 11 without competing. Just keep up your performance, do well, and you'll get those $10,000 increases every year. Perform well, network. You have opportunities coming left and right that you even asked for. As far as someone who wants to create a budget, on my website, I think it's live. If not, I can add it on there. I have a template. I have some free templates on there. You guys can download. More will be coming in 2022. I will be adding more free stuff, hosting more free, like webinars, seminars, explain different stuff. So I definitely get Mr. Pike out the information. But yeah, just like I said, go on there. The greatest budget start with how much I'm bringing in minus how much I'm taking out, and you can see your money working. Where is it going? Because when I first did it, I was paying for every streaming service, Hulu, Disney Plus. I was like, oh no, I gotta get rid of something. So you can actually see where is your money going. And if you have a bank account, print the bank statement, see what you spent money on, and tell yourself, I didn't need this, or I don't need this. And the importance of that is seeing where your money is going.
Yeah.
And once you see that, you'll be able to do more with it.
Awesome. Now we're almost out of time. We thank you so much for joining us. But I ask every speaker the same question. Like everybody in this room, you grew up Black in Mississippi. Not only that, you grew up in the Delta, which is even tougher. Mm-hmm. So even if somebody has no desire to ever get into finance, even if somebody has no desire to own their own business or anything like that, but they're going to face the same obstacles that you face. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So what can they do to follow in the footsteps and be successful as someone like you that has grown up in the same area with the same obstacles?
So I have to say, when you're, like you said, we have those things, not so much against us, but we have those things by default. So Black, a woman, growing up in the Delta, you just have to figure out, what do I want to do with life, and put the work in. Like you said, whatever you want to do, not what anyone else is doing. You may not want to own a business. You may not want to go to college, but what is there that you want to do? And when you figure out what you want to do, research, read, figure out who is doing what I'm trying to do, and just network, and just like, I'm sorry, I don't mind emailing people, calling people, walking up to them. I was like, hey, I'm interested in doing what you're doing now. How can I get there? Some people are very rude, and some people are not forthcoming with information, but do not let that stop you for still asking them, like, hey, how can I do this? How can I get there? And even if they're not nice, we have Google. You can type in Google, say you wanna be a barbershops in the area. Go into those barbershops. Hey, I aspire to do what you do. How can I get there? Can I rent a booth? Are you an instructor? Is it something like, just go for it. Use all your tools to get their attention until someone says yes. You're gonna get a lot of no's before you get a yes, but it's gonna take one yes to get you to where you need to be. And like I say, follow your dreams, follow your heart, and do what you want to do, and not what anyone else wants you to do. And you'll get to the level of success that you desire.
That's awesome. And again, and we thank you so much. I know you're
Oh, thank you all for having me.
I know you're really busy and fitting this in your schedule, but good stuff here. And I'll make sure that everybody checks out your website, finlit.com. Got some good stuff on there, and we will be downloading those free templates. But I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay, no problem. And if it's something on there that they are interested in that you don't see, let me know, and I can see if I can get that to you all.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a great day.